Alrighty, and we are live. Welcome everyone to the first silver screen show. That's what we're calling it. Though so far, maybe we'll change it. This show, we're just going to talk about movies and TV shows, and that's really going to be it strictly. So, my co-host is going to be Aiden. Aiden, how are you?
I am good. I'm ready to co-host. I've never
Awesome.
co-hosted, so who knows how this will go. But
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Today we're going to talk about our top 5 movies. I have 5. Do you have 5, Aiden?
I do have 5.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to kind of dive into that.
Today, at least.
What's that?
Well, 5 for like today, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll dive into that, and it'll be interesting to see if we have the same movie on there. I can't.
What if it was all 5?
That'd be a huge coincidence.
That would be crazy.
We'd for sure know that I have the right co-host for the show. If we had all 5.
I'm gonna bet that there's 2 that we both pick.
I would maybe go with 1, but even that, I'm not confident in that.
One of us will surprise the other.
We'll see. We'll see. Real quick, did you hear about David Lynch?
Of course, heartbroken.
It's
heartbroken.
Yeah, it's so sad.
One of the best to ever do it.
I know. I really like Twin Peaks.
Probably a lot of people give The Sopranos credit for TV, but I would give it to Twin Peaks, to be honest.
That's an interesting thing. I've never really thought about that. Yeah, I mean
Twilight Zone, if you're going all the way back, like to the first edgy kind of TV, but Twin Peaks is like a film.
Right, that's like the first
that's when
TV show where it's not so episodic, where there's like an overarching plot so that's interesting. I've never thought about that. I'm sure there's other shows that did it before Twin Peaks too. Like I think Dallas, that's a show that was popular like in the 80s.
Yeah, and I know there's some Swedish stuff. But,
Swedish stuff?
Yeah. Like Ingmar Bergman, I think, did a mini-series once. But, yeah. No, but David Lynch, I just saw The Elephant Man recently, which is like...
I've never seen The Elephant Man.
Oh, that's a wild movie. His films, aren't even... I don't know. It's really a kind of an experience. And this.
Well, that's what I don't think I've seen much David Lynch, to be honest. I need to watch
Blue Velvet.
I haven't seen Blue Velvet.
I have yet to see Mulholland Drive.
I haven't seen that one. I've never seen Eraserhead.
Yeah, Eraserhead. Can't watch that.
Let me look up his filmography and see what ones I've seen really by him. I don't know if I've ever.
The funniest people. Like he appeared in some movies and shows, and he was always hilarious.
He's credited for The Cleveland Show.
What the hell?
Okay, that's weird.
That can't be a good recipe.
He's credited for Louis.
Yeah, he's in Louis. He's great in Louis.
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen a David Lynch film.
Oh well, now would be the time to. I think there's like Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, and Mulholland Drive are kind of like
the top.
Those are the 3 that I think of.
He did Dune in the 80s.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a bad movie. That's a really bad movie. But I think he acknowledged that it was bad.
Interesting. Well, rest in peace to him. I mean, he's definitely one of the. He's a legend in the as far as just filmmaking goes in general. I feel like.
Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks discovered him.
Is Mel Brooks still alive?
He is actually. He's 99.
That's insane that he's still kicking.
He's like going strong. But no, he discovered David Lynch for The Elephant Man, which is like the last person you would expect to be the birth of David Lynch. But
that's why, I mean, they're totally different, I feel like. But I feel like David Lynch, he's funny in his own right,
That's exactly it.
He has definitely some comedic elements to him. But that's interesting. Mel Brooks discovered him.
Yeah, David
Okay.
Lynch he's in Louis with Louis C.K. and it's like a 3-episode thing, and it's like the funniest I've ever seen a director. You wouldn't expect it. It's so funny, but it's too funny. Like he's kind of the person I think about when I think about that show.
Really?
And it's named Louis, but
you don't think about Louis C.K.?
not David Lynch is first. David Lynch is first, but yeah.
All right.
I feel about Louis C.K., but yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. Rest in peace to him. Let's dive into some of our favorite films, though. Why don't we?
You want to do 5, or I don't really have them ranked, but
what's
you
that?
want to do like each one of us does one? Or
Yeah. Yeah. No, let's take turns. You go first. You talk about one on the, and then we'll just talk about the film for a sec, and then go on. Well, I'll do mine. I'll say one. So, what's your first? And is it in a particular order? Or...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
do you have like an all-time favorite film that you're going to say for the last one, where you're like, this is my favorite film ever, no matter what?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know if I necessarily do.
There's probably like 300 movies that all flip between every other spot but one.
Okay.
One does go to a specific movie that I don't.
Okay, save that one for last then.
Yeah.
All right. What is your first favorite film?
I guess first would be, I really like the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just when it comes to like, I mean, I guess when you hear the other 4, maybe I should have done this one like third, because it's kind of like part of the reason I picked it was because it was such a different type of movie. But
okay,
I don't know, just like I think that film is kind of Wes Anderson at his best, with his best lead whatsoever.
Okay.
I mean, that lead, it's such an unexpected thing to cast Ralph Fiennes in that role, and then he perfectly fits into like the Wes Anderson world, which is kind of not what you would expect from someone like him. Not to mention the film is riddled with like so many great actors. It's just kind of him at his most Wes Anderson, and his.
I would agree.
And I just think it's his best. You know, it's kind of him. I think recently he's kind of he can get a little bit too Wes Anderson-y.
That's what I've heard. I haven't seen his newer stuff. I think really the last thing that I've seen by him would be like Isle of Dogs, his newest work.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, they're still like really good movies. You know, he doesn't make bad movies, but
he had the French Dispatch.
I like that one.
That one, I remember that one getting kind of mixed reviews, but then he had Astro City.
Yeah, that's a good one, and he had the Netflix stuff.
He had some shorts on Netflix, short films on Netflix.
Yeah, those were pretty good.
Huh.
Yeah, I also like how the longer you watch him, the more actors start to sort of pop into his movies, and it's, you know, like Tom Hanks was in one, which was kind of unexpected.
Which one was he in?
I think it was Asteroid City.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it, so I guess I want to know. I mean, he is I mean, one of the most stylized directors I think ever, really.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's like you just know that it's one of his movies.
For sure.
I don't even think you have to have seen a movie of his to know that's a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, he is a household name. He has a very stylized vision for his films. I would say the Grand Budapest Hotel, it's not my favorite Wes Anderson film.
Okay.
It is, I would say, from the ones I've seen, the most stylized, I guess, for sure. You know, you look at some of his older works, like not Red Rocket. That is one of his works. I haven't seen it though, but there's this other one, Rushmore.
Yeah, Rushmore.
You look at something like that, and it's still stylized, but like not to the extent that's Grand Budapest Hotel is. You know, like that is 100% Wes Anderson. So that's a great pick, I think. Yeah.
What is your favorite Wes Anderson movie?
Well, I as once you said Grand Budapest Hotel, I was like, oh, I didn't even put a Wes Anderson film on my list, so I had to change my list. I got rid of one, because I do love this film, and I just forgot about it, which is whatever. But Royal Tenenbaums, I think,
I
is my
love that
favorite.
movie. I love that.
I know that's on my list, so that's one of my top 5 movies. Like, I could rewatch that movie, not back to back, because it is a dark film at
It gets
times.
dark.
Yeah,
really dark.
but it is such a good film.
Gene Hackman, too good. He's too good in that.
Yeah, yeah. I absolutely love that film. That is such a it's definitely stylized like Wes Anderson. You know, it has that Wes Anderson feel about it, but I feel like it's very human, you know, at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the characters are flawed, you know?
Yeah.
And like,
you kind of understand them.
Yeah, for sure. And some of them are relatable, some not. You know, there's like that sister brother incest thing, which was kind of gross.
Yeah,
I think they're
Lannister vibe. But
yeah, I think she's like adopted, or one of them's adopted, so they're not like blood related, but it's still very kind of icky, you know.
Yeah.
But I just love that. I love that film so much.
It's a great film.
Such a beautiful film.
I like that scene when Owen Wilson's driving the car on like coke, and he's like speeding down the road, and you just hear him like whisper to himself, like, "Here I come," and it's just like really bizarre moments.
Yeah.
But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I can't remember now. You caught me up. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I love that film. That's in my top 5. So thank you for reminding me that Wes Anderson exists, because I needed to add that film. I would say Rushmore's pretty close to it, though. I do.
So I haven't seen Rushmore, only because I've seen what Jason Schwartzman looks like, and a young Jason Schwartzman makes me very uncomfortable. But like older Jason Schwartzman, I got no problem with. I just think when he was young, he looked so like, maybe that's just superficial, but he just looks so like smug, and it's and awkward at the same time. You know, it's kind of a really uncomfortable person to look at.
That's interesting. I don't get that feeling when I watch that film.
Maybe that's just maybe I'm the only person on the planet who feels that
maybe
way.
You might be, to be honest. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay.
He is a great actor, though.
He is a good actor. Yeah, he is. He's been in other Wes Anderson films too, I believe.
Oh yeah, him and Bill Murray are like
everything. He's a Wes Anderson staple, like Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson.
Yeah, I don't like Luke Wilson. I really don't like Luke Wilson. But
really,
yeah. But Royal Tenenbaums is that's a
good. He's good in that. Yeah. Okay, so what is your 4th?
Well, what's your Royal Tenenbaums? Okay.
Yeah.
My 4th, I guess, would be There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that, Paul Thomas Anderson? I think that would be 4th. For many reasons. I mean, the performance, I think that might be the best performance I've ever seen. Like, in all honesty, he's such a like complex character. The actor is so Daniel Day-Lewis is like so obnoxiously committed to it, and the cinematography of the film is beautiful. It feels like you know how when you hear the word like Upton Sinclair, which is the author of the book that's based on, like you get a certain type of picture, like oil 1920s kind of thing, and then like the film just perfect. I just thought it was like it perfectly captures that time period. The sound is amazing. The sound is like a total full-on character in itself.
And I guess that's something I haven't thought about. Yeah, I've only seen the film once. I should rewatch it though. And I mean, I feel like the film is great, but I wonder if you take away Daniel Day-Lewis, if it's like I can't imagine it. Like I think his performance makes the movie so great in a lot of ways, you know.
Well, that's definitely true. I mean, without him, it would not be a remembered movie the way it is.
Yeah, and who's that by? Paul Anderson, right?
Yeah, I just think that I think that's part of it though. Like you can make a great film without a great character.
Yeah.
But really, all great films have great characters. So, I mean, I think he knew that, and I mean, I do think his filmmaking matches. I don't think it would be the film it is without the performance, but I think his filmmaking matches.
It's on par. Like it's yeah, I think so too. But I think by far Daniel Day-Lewis's performance outshines the rest of the film.
I mean, that's
in a
what
lot
you
of
go
ways.
away with remembering.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
so
Paul Dano is another great.
He's good in that.
He's really good in that.
He's a good actor. I like Paul Dano.
I do too.
Have you seen Sidebar? Have you seen oh gosh, now I can't remember. Dumb Money, I think it's called.
I love Dumb Money.
Yeah, that was good.
Dumb Money had no business being as good as it was.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed that. And some of it I didn't really understand, even though I did work in like the finance and like, you know, whatnot. Some of what was going on, and I was like, I don't understand this stock market shit. But it was a good film.
Yeah, that felt more like a sequel to The Big Short than Sidebar, but that director of The Big Short has done like a couple of
Adam
movies.
McKay.
Yeah, and they've all kind of been whack in my opinion. But that movie felt like what Adam McKay was trying to do with Vice or something. You know, it kind of handled things similarly the way The Big Short did.
I would say so. I mean, you do have a big cast, and a lot of the times too, you know, you'll have like a big actor not like playing a super small part.
Yeah, and there's a lot of characters who don't meet, but they're all connected through this same experience.
Yeah. So yeah, in that sense, it is similar to The Big Short for sure. I feel like the way it's edited too, in a lot of ways, is similar as well. Vice, I liked Vice. I watched that not too long ago. I really dug it.
I hate it.
I really dug it. I will say there were some ballsy choices that I don't think paid off. I mean, I guess we can spoil it. Like maybe 3/4 of the way of that, it ends. You know, rolls credits, and then you know, I think a narrator comes in and says, "Oh, this isn't really the end," and the movie continues on.
Yeah,
and I don't think that really worked so well. I think that definitely took me out of the experience, and I just don't think that worked so well. It might have been like halfway through the film. Like it very much took me out of the experience. And it did feel like it kind of dragged on at some points. But I do think Christian Bale did a great job as Dick Cheney. And it really shows how not a cool guy Dick Cheney is, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, you're right. Christian Bale is the saving grace of that movie. But I did try rewatching that recently. And when that trailer came out, when that movie was coming out, I was so excited because I was a Big Short fan. And the trailer looked amazing. And then the movie was such a colossal disappointment, in my opinion. And I just felt like it was filled with these like choices that were like hard for me to watch. Like I would be like, why would you pick that type of sequence? Like that's so, but that's just my opinion. I also feel like Steve Carell is kind of a not at all threatening in the way I feel like Rumsfeld should be. But at the same time, Rumsfeld was funny, so it kind of makes sense, but
yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know too much about the character Steve Carell plays.
Sam Rockwell was good.
What's that?
Sam Rockwell was quite good as Bush.
Oh yeah, as George W. Yeah, I thought he was pretty good. But yeah, that movie does a great job. Really,
it definitely makes the right message. I'll give it that.
I think so too.
It sends the right message. But
anyhow,
what's your fourth movie?
Yeah, I was gonna say Vice is not on my list. I'd like it. Let me pull up my list here and see which one I want to talk about next. So, I will talk about Into the Spider-Verse. I really love Into the Spider-Verse. It's funny. When I first saw the film, I wasn't in love with it. I thought it was good, but you know, I wasn't obsessed with it. I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with it now, but I rewatch it at least like once a year, usually around Christmas time. And I'm just like, this movie's so much fun. It's so freaking good. I love the animation. I love the music. I love the voice acting, all of it. I just think it's an incredible Spider-Man film. And
best one.
I would say so for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love it. I love the animation, like I said, but I like the character designs, like Kingpin, how big he is. Like that's a bold choice, but I think it works. It pays off in that film.
Well, it's like a comic book.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Which I like comics, obviously. So yeah, I absolutely love Into the Spider-Verse. I just think it's such a fun animated film, and it's I think it's almost like timeless too. Like
I don't see that aging badly.
Yeah, no. And not to say like the Beyond the Spider-Verse or what I think that's or Across the Spider-Verse, I think the second one's called.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Not that one's bad or I disliked it, but there is not that same magic for me there is for the first Into the Spider-Verse, you know? Like I said, I've rewatched it a few times, and each time I love it more and more. I really do.
Yeah, some people think Across the Spider-Verse is better, but I kind of agree with you in that my problem with Across the Spider-Verse, and I love that movie, but I think I have a problem with the multiverse. Like I have a real problem when you overuse it. And they do it to the best they can. But to me, I'm always going to be drawn to something like, in the Spider-Verse does use a multiverse, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's kind of done. It's all, they stay in one universe.
Right.
Like it's different, I mean, so I agree with you. I think that is the better one. But I think Across the Spider-Verse is easily one of the best sequels.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not like it that much.
Okay.
I guess I'd have to rewatch it, but it just felt like it was too long. And I don't know. It felt very much like a part one, and I didn't like that too much.
That has a good Jason Schwartzman performance.
Yeah. It's the Polka Dot Man or
the Spot.
The Spot, whatever his name is. They make that villain cool, I feel like, because I don't think he was that cool of a villain.
I found him more interesting than whoever Oscar Isaac played.
Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, that I found Spot. Yeah. I hope Spot comes back.
I think he will. I think what will happen is he'll be the big bad, and Oscar Isaacs and Miles Morales will team up
But then you have apparently there's like the movie ended with him in that other universe, and there's other Miles
where he's the Prowler.
And that guy's played by like Jarrell Jerome, which will be exciting.
Oh, interesting! I didn't know that. It's a different voice actor.
Yeah, it's been in a lot of things. But yeah.
Huh. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, that would be cool. I feel like that film was supposed to come out like recently, and it's just gotten delayed. So who knows when that film will come out? And there's this whole online social media thing with the voice actor. Have you seen any of that? Who plays Miles Morales?
Oh, Shamik Moore.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the social media stuff that he's people on social media do not like him that much now, I guess. He was in the interviews with the Beyond the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, whatever. He was like hitting on Haley Steinfeld a lot. And it was just kind of cringy, and like that got clipped when that film was coming out, and people were kind of like dogging on him. They were like, this is kind of embarrassing. And Haley Steinfeld got engaged recently, and that same day afterwards, Shamik Moore posted like this cryptic tweet, and people thought it was related to the engagement, and Shamik says it wasn't. I don't know if it was or whatever, but it was weird. It was just a weird situation overall.
Well, I know he was in Dope. It came out before Spider-Verse.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's a good movie.
that is.
I think he's a good actor. I don't know why he isn't in anything else. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a good movie. I kind of forgot about Nope or Dope.
But yeah.
Cool. What's your third? I think we're at the third. What's your third favorite film of all time?
I'm gonna go with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't heard of that movie? Okay. Well, unless the next two are the same movie as you, I'm probably gonna lose that bet. But,
Yeah, I think so.
But Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is a fantastic movie. It's an actual spy thriller that is how spies would actually do it.
Okay.
It has a stacked cast.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Gary Oldman, Tom Hardy, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Fantastic. Colin Firth, Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hardy.
Mark Strong.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's like filled with people. It's a great cast. It's based on a John le Carre novel, and it really feels like it's like the anecdote of the complete opposite of James Bond. It's totally like if they had to actually do it, how would they do it? It's set in the Cold War.
It's a more realistic take on spies then.
Well, John le Carre, who's the author, was an actual spy before he became an author. So this is all like exactly how they would do it.
Oh, that seems awesome.
It's a lot of like, if you want to learn something about this guy, you got to go into the building and find the file, and you have to do all the, and it's a little like, I mean, it's a great film. It really is. It's a great film.
I've never heard of this film, surprisingly. I'm shocked I've not, but it does look awesome. I'll need to check this out for sure. Like I feel like I would like this film a lot.
I think you would. It's slow. Like there's not much action. It is kind of a conversational movie.
Okay.
But it's great. I mean, and if you like just seeing really good actors be given really good writing with a really good director. I mean, it's one of Gary Oldman's best performances, and it's like so underplayed by
Interesting.
him. He doesn't at all showboat, which is kind of my favorite performance. I don't need someone yelling a bunch of stuff in the screen,
Sure.
I can handle just someone talking, but
okay. It's a underwhelming performance, but a well performance.
Like, I mean, underwhelming is the exact right word. It just sounds like it's a lesser performance, but it is underwhelming in the best ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Gary Oldman,
and Colin Firth is another standout. Colin Firth.
Who is it?
Colin Firth.
I don't know who that is.
He's like unfortunately, he's probably best known for the Bridget Jones movies, but he's actually a great actor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I will. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. Maybe I'll read the book too. It's nonfiction, right? It's based on a true story, or is it fiction?
No. It's set in the Cold War, not based on a true story. Kind of. I mean, like inspired loosely by
historical fiction type thing.
Yeah, like in a lot of his books, there's a 9-book series called the Smiley series. Which, that's the character Gary Oldman plays, and this movie's based on I think it's the 5th one in the series. But the original series, there's this long-running antagonist named Karla, who's like the Russian spy master.
Yeah,
and that's kind of who he goes up against throughout the books.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would really love it. You would really love it.
I'll have to check it out. I said,
the millions of viewers who are watching, they would really love it too.
I'm surprised I've not watched it. Awesome. Okay, so let me get my list out.
Yeah, I want to hear what.
Let me see. Okay, next one I'll talk about is Punch Drunk Love, which is another.
Okay.
Same director as There Will Be Blood,
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson. Yeah. I love that movie so much. I find it to be I love movies that are, drama, like comedy and drama combined, and I think that's like a perfect blend. Like there are very funny moments, and the main character is not a very serious person in a lot of ways, and I mean, you kind of realize that like within the first 10 minutes with his um uh airplane ticket scheme that he's trying to do or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you get that sense that he's not a very serious guy. And I just find him to be so funny, but he can be very intense at times too. And he's played by Adam Sandler. And
yeah.
I love this is like my favorite Adam Sandler movie ever. Like,
no, it is, I mean, yeah.
He can be so intense at times, and I love when he's on the phone with oh my gosh.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman, probably my favorite actor.
He's great too. I love it.
That like shut up. Just like yeah.
It cracks me up every time. So that is 100% on my list of favorite films for sure.
Well, that's a good choice. I really vibe with the color palette on that movie.
Yeah,
it's like this purple it's kind of beautiful and sad.
A little bit.
It's kind of exactly what the movie's trying to be.
For sure. And I like it too because it doesn't like overstay its welcome. Like it's not a very long movie.
Yeah.
It's from what I remember, it was pretty well paced, and it ends, I think, on a good note. I'm drawing a blank on how it ends, but I believe it ends kind of with a happy ending. So
yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. But
yeah. But that's when when I was making this list, I was trying to think of movies that I like to rewatch every so often, because usually with films, I really don't like to rewatch it unless it's been like years. But there are, a few like 10 films that I like to rewatch like once a year or so, and all these are definitely ones that I like to rewatch every so often.
I mean, it is now that you have me thinking about it, I'm remembering it a little more fondly because I remember like kind of feeling like that was, in my opinion, I felt like that was Paul Thomas Anderson, one of his weaker movies, in the same way that like I actually Punch Drunk Love is different because I see a lot of really strong qualities in that, and I think that's just a movie that you have to like eventually get around to understanding.
Yeah, I feel like almost too it can be a little bit of an acquired taste at times,
Have you ever seen Inherent Vice?
No, but I know of it.
So that was a movie of Paul Thomas Anderson's that I really did not vibe with. It was kind of like it's like a 70s stoner type of movie, but it kind of is. It's just it's its own thing that it's a little too much of its own thing.
Sure.
It doesn't even feel at all like grounded in any way, which isn't bad necessarily. It's just kind of doesn't really work.
Not your vibe.
The Master. That's a good Paul Thomas.
Yeah, that's a great film.
But I do like Punch Drunk Love quite a lot.
Yeah, The Master may be up there too with my favorites. Paul Thomas Anderson. Is that his name? Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson, right?
Yeah.
For sure. I think that's up there with some of my favorite films of his. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman in that film, in The Master. I mean, just incredible.
He's just incredible.
Great and I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a good film. Well, yeah. So Punch Drunk Love.
That's a film that I saw as a kid, and totally went over my head. And then I saw it again, and I was like, "This might be like the deepest thing I've ever seen." Like
The Master or Punch Drunk?
The Master. It's like I just think it's just once you get it, you're like, oh.
It's a very deep film,
Yeah.
There's I feel like there's a lot of layers to that film, The Master.
Totally.
Yeah. So Punch Drunk Love, that's my third favorite film.
That's a great choice.
Okay, what is your, I believe, second?
So, definitely something that other people have picked in their top 5. It's a little bit like conventional, but Goodfellas, I think. I got to include Scorsese. because he is like one of the best.
He's
And
up there.
Goodfellas is probably, in my opinion, his best movie. I think
I would agree.
Ray Liotta, in particular, is perfect. Joe Pesci's great. De Niro's great. I mean, Lorraine Bracco. Everyone is really fantastic. I love how you can watch that movie and you see half of The Sopranos.
Pretty much.
Like, I love that.
A lot of them young too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something I think is great. But also just the movie. It's like, I mean, he's really never gotten bad. But there was like a time when he's using editing and sound in this way that's like, it's really Taxi Driver, probably to Casino, maybe. And he still does it, but there's something about these movies in that period that are edited in such a confident way, and he makes certain edits that you just didn't, like, you never thought you'd see, and once you see them, you've seen it. Like when Ray Liotta closes the trunk in the beginning, and there's that shot that like zooms into him, and this music starts beating up, like, and then it goes to his childhood, and it's like, that's like a moment, that's a moment that sticks with you, and for me at least.
No, I think in that film, I would say like that's probably one of the most memorable moments in that film for sure.
Also, when they're cooking in the prison, that has never made me want to eat pasta more than just seeing like them cut the onions with the razor.
The garlic too, yeah.
And they're just throwing, like, it looks like they're throwing like everything in there, and it's just like, God, I wish it was
delicious.
Yeah.
Goodfellas, that's a great choice. I was debating putting that on my list. I did not. It was not that I don't love it, because I do, but I just haven't watched it in a while, and I don't know if I have much desire to revisit it anytime soon. But I do love it. I mean, it is an amazing film. I do agree with you where it's Scorsese's best. I do think it's probably his best film for sure. Although I do like Taxi Driver. I would say I kind of like King of Comedy a little more though.
King of Comedy's great. Raging Bull.
Yeah. What is it?
Raging Bull.
Yeah, Raging Bull. I mean, there's
so many. Like,
have you seen one of his films called After Hours, I believe?
No, I'm probably gonna see it soon.
That's a weird one.
Hearing about it.
That's a weird one. Yeah, because it's like a comedy.
It's like a small comedy he made.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. I watched it in college, and I enjoyed it. I remember I stayed up late too to watch it.
I've been meaning to see it.
Yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun, and it's a little forgettable, if I'm being honest, but I enjoyed it.
That can also be just due to like your own the circumstances of watching the movie.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'd be curious to hear what you think of the film, though.
I'll definitely watch
After Hours, because that is a different one for Scorsese, because it definitely plays more like a comedy.
I like that you think he's a certain crime-based director, and he is, but he has like all these branches of other things. He's done a lot of historical work. Wolf of Wall Street is a historical movie, technically. It's not set in present day.
Goodfellas, I think, technically is too.
Yeah, Goodfellas is set in like the 70s.
Casino.
That's
nonfiction.
Age of Innocence.
Raging Bull.
Yeah, like Aviator. The Departed is probably. Well, I don't know. Departed might.
I don't think The Departed is. I'd be surprised.
The Departed might be current.
Yeah.
What's your second?
My second is, and I would be surprised if you heard of this film, to be honest. And I would say you're a much bigger movie buff than me, especially now. You've definitely surpassed me. It's American Splendor.
I know American Splendor.
Wow.
Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. First off, it deals
I haven't
with comics,
seen it, but I know of it.
Oh, it's so good. I love it so much. Yeah, it deals with comics. A famous comic book artist and writer, Harvey Pekar. He never did like Marvel or DC. He was always underground at the time. That's what it was called. Before indie, in the 80s, I think. And I had the graphic novel right here where each issue he wrote about his life. He has a very unique art style, and he just writes about his life and his daily struggles. It's very relatable, very funny, because he's Harvey Pekar is very much a character in a lot of ways. He's very out there, and he's a little rough around the edges, and I just think he's such a cool guy, Harvey Pekar. And then Paul Giamatti. I love Paul Giamatti. So it's about comics, right? I love comics. It's like a perfect storm, of like, I love this movie so much. So I do highly recommend you check it out. It's a great film.
I will.
Yeah.
I recently saw with Paul Giamatti Sideways.
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen? Oh, okay. Sideways is a big movie of his. I think American Splendor was his big breakthrough, and then Sideways was like
I think so, yeah.
The second success. But American Splendor, that is a film that I guess I've never thought about watching, but I have known about it. Maybe I just didn't get a. Who's the director?
I can't remember. I don't know. But it's interesting because there's scenes with the real Harvey Pekar.
Oh, that's interesting.
Playing himself. So in the way they do it, the way it's formatted, the scenes is interesting. Like Paul Giamatti's playing Paul Giamatti, playing Harvey Pekar, and Harvey Pekar is Harvey Pekar. There's just the way it's on Max. It looks like, and maybe Hulu too. I just think it's an amazing film.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Harvey Pekar, he unfortunately passed away in 2010. It looks like he was also known for being on the David Letterman show for a long time, and they had a public falling out on his show. And then after that, he was banned, and they talk about that in the movie too, on how he got banned from the David Letterman show and stuff. And yeah, and I think that's why Harvey Pekar was popular at one time because of David Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's seriously, check it out. It's so good. I love that film so much. I want to get a poster of it.
That kind of reminds me. Have you ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Now, is that kind of similar?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not. Okay. Very different. Very different. I mean, they're similar in the sense that
Thompson was a writer, and that's who Johnny Depp plays.
Right. He was a journalist. Hunter S. Thompson. Johnny Depp. Yeah. I mean, they're similar in the sense that they're both based on true stories. They're nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, no, they're not similar. Like Harvey Pekar is not the drug maniac that Hunter S. Thompson is, or was. That's another one I need to rewatch.
That was I saw that for the first time recently.
I own the book and I read about half of it. I need to finish it because the book's really good. I
mean, Johnny Depp can be so fucking talented, but then like for every Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, there's a Mordecai or
sure.
Whatever other shitty movie.
Lone Ranger.
Yeah, there's a Lone Ranger for every Ed Wood.
Sure. Yeah. Ed Wood. That's another one.
That's a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, that one. It's by Tim Burton, isn't it?
It's like Tim Burton at the most grounded level possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was early in both their careers too. Ed Wood's a great one. So what is your favorite film of all time?
I'm gonna get a few haters for this, but it is the best movie of the year it came out. It's probably the best movie. I would say it's definitely the best movie of this decade.
Let me guess.
Go for it.
Oppenheimer.
It is. It is Oppenheimer. That is the best. It might be the best movie of. It's certainly probably the most important movie of the century, I think. When it comes to just like grand scale issues, I think it covers something that it really can speak to everyone. It's huge and yet so intimate at the same time. But as a movie itself, it is Nolan at his best. Yeah. He does every single decision is the perfect decision. I mean, it's like the acting is off the charts, particularly, Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr.
Sure.
And Emily Blunt and Matt Damon. The whole cast is stacked. It's crazy how many people are in that movie. Rami Malek gets like 2 lines, and he's like an Oscar-winning actor. Casey Affleck. But no, it's such. I mean, I remember seeing that movie, and when the explosion happens, like actually being jaw dropped. Just how perfectly he did that. Like, no sound for like 20 seconds after, as the wind is like approaching them. Once they do the Trinity test.
Yeah.
The scene when he gives the speech afterwards, and he's like seeing the flashes of what the bombs have probably done in Japan.
Yep.
And it's just like, and the way that it somehow weaves like 10 storylines together, and like you're at first wondering why is half of this in black and white and why is half of this in color, and by the end of it you're answered it without being told, which I really think is like the best thing you can do in a movie, is show the audience and not tell them. I mean, it's just perfect in my opinion. And it won every award, as it should, but it went off and it did the full thing.
It is probably my favorite Nolan film, I would say, for sure. I think it's a very important film, very it's very important, very heavy at times, long, but can be also kind of dense, but I think it's I do agree. I think it's by far probably my favorite Nolan film, more so than the Batman films, which I'm actually not a huge Dark Knight fan, to be honest with you. The entire trilogy.
You're gonna get backlash.
Yeah, whatever. Have at it. So Oppenheimer is amazing. I love it.
I mean, and I'm not a fan of Barbie. I do recognize, though, that it would not have made the money.
You're not a fan of Barbie? I take that as a surprise.
I am not a fan of Barbie. I think Barbie is a surprisingly simple view on world issues. And I know it's a Barbie movie, and that's what you're supposed to expect, but people were really acting like this was like the next great American film. Like, it was a summer blockbuster at best. Oppenheimer is a film. Like, that's a film, that, I don't know. And it's already been shown that Barbie is not going to be remembered the way Oppenheimer is. But I do appreciate the money that they gave to Oppenheimer. And I also think I think Barbie wouldn't have been as critically well received without Oppenheimer. And I think the industry needed Barbenheimer.
Yeah,
but I think that Oppenheimer started with this amazing marketing campaign with Barbenheimer. It came out. It got like the best reviews of every single person in that movie. They're like their best reviews, and then it just won every award and made a bunch of money, and it was just like this ultimate success.
Yeah, that's interesting. I definitely think the whole Barbenheimer thing will be remembered in movie history.
They tried to redo it this year with Glicked.
Yeah, which did not work.
Just not going to work. Both movies were fine, I guess.
I haven't seen either, but
I've seen them both. Wicked is better. I got to give credit. Wicked is better. I don't love it, but it's a better movie.
I've talked to people who are not movie people and who are definitely not musical people, like older guys who have just so happened to seen Wicked with their families or whatever, they love it. I've talked to so many people who surprisingly love that film.
So
like,
I'm not a
wow.
musical guy either. Like Wonka was a musical I really loved, but that's probably
Mhm.
about it. La La Land is a pretty good movie. But yeah, Wicked was it tugs a couple heartstrings, you know, like,
Interesting.
and you do feel, I got to give him credit. That movie did a good job of that was a play, but it had never been a movie, and I had never known what
Right.
that play was really about. Like I knew it was these two, good,
Well, I think it's based off
obviously.
of I think the musical is based off a book.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all kind of
Yeah.
springs from Wizard of Oz, which I knew.
Well, the books, there's a series of books that the
Oh,
Wizard of Oz pulls from.
okay. Okay. Well, then that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah,
But either way, I'd never really known what it was about or what the story was. And by
sure.
the end of it, you are kind of like questioning, you're kind of agreeing with what is her name?
Alphaba.
Yeah, you're agreeing with her kind of, and
I
you're
don't
like,
know how I knew that, but I did.
yeah, how did you know that? Maybe you're a big fan of it and you're
I
just
am.
keeping
I'm
it a
secretly a
secret.
huge
There's
Wicked
a
fan.
Wicked poster behind my computer.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll watch that film to be honest ever, but I mean, I wouldn't be against watching it, but I'm not gonna watch it on my own. I guess. Like if I was with
Mhm.
someone who's like, I really want to watch this, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Got
You
me a
know.
little hyped for the second part. I'm a little bit like,
Wow.
I'll see it.
Okay.
Gladiator
Okay.
2 was Ridley Scott just thinking he's some master without working for it at all, in my opinion. Like, it's a
Do you
good
think?
movie. It's a good
Do you
movie.
think Ridley Scott has become a little pretentious?
I fucking hate Ridley. Like, I love his movies,
He seems
but
like such a. He seems like such a jerk.
he's such a dick. Like, he was
Yeah.
on this director group circle thing that
Round
they
table.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the round table. And he like wasn't like he had the worst movie at that table.
What
He
was it?
made like it was Gladiator 2, but
Okay. I
compared to
haven't
the
seen
other
that one.
movies,
Yeah.
it was a pretty mediocre movie, and he didn't like ask about anyone else. He didn't acknowledge anything else. And then he's just like calling his own movies great. Like he gets asked like top four sci-fi movies, and he says Alien and Blade Runner. And it's just like,
I
come
forgot
on.
he did Blade Runner too. Yeah.
No, he is a good director. That's the
Well,
thing.
he has. He definitely has a good filmography for the most part.
Yeah. But I've never thought of Ridley Scott as like an artist the way I think of Scorsese
Sure.
as an artist,
That's fair. I feel like a lot of other movie buffs may disagree with that. I don't know.
Maybe. And you don't
I
have
don't.
to be an
That's
artist. Like you can make a film. He makes films for a different reason. He makes films to entertain people. One of his movies literally asks you, "Are you entertained?" Like
that's true.
it's pretty evident. But no, he can be great. American Gangster is a great movie. The Martian.
I've never seen it. Martian's good, yeah.
You can't be a bad director and have done The Martian.
That's true. But I do get what you're saying, and like a lot of his films are not they're good, but they're not like spectacular. Like
for a guy
Scorsese or Wes Anderson or Tarantino, like I would agree. I don't necessarily think they're on the same level. And I could be wrong. Like truth be told, I haven't seen all of his films, but from the ones I've seen, like they're good, but they're no. I think he's good at making blockbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think he's quite a good genre skipper. He can like Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down's a great film, and he did that the year after Gladiator. Like
interesting.
He can really jump between genres quite well. It's just that he thinks anything he's going to do is going to be great. And for a guy who lists his own great movies very often and very like, he wants to tell you about his great movies. He conveniently misses mentioning, The Counselor, House of Gucci, Napoleon, Kingdom of Heaven, like There's a lot of weak movies in that career.
What was that one he did? Like right after COVID, The Last Duel or something.
That was good. That was good
with Ben Affleck and
that actually
was Ben
is
Affleck in that?
Yeah, that's a good movie. It just didn't make any money, and then he bitched about it.
Yeah.
He was like, "No one's going to see my movie." And it was like, I went to see it, but it was just me and one other person. But
yeah, I don't know.
But what's your top movie?
My top movie. You want to take a guess? You'll never guess it.
What era are we talking about?
70s.
Oh. What genre is it?
Drama.
Very specific.
Somewhat comedy at times too, I'd say. But more drama. You'll never guess it. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm not going to guess it.
You're not going to guess it. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, that's a good choice, and I've never heard anyone ever say it as their favorite movie.
By far, I think my favorite movie. Wow,
that's really intriguing. I mean, it's a great film. I love that.
Yeah,
movie. It is a great movie.
I think it's. I love Jack Nicholson. That's the film that really made me fall in love with Jack Nicholson. I was like, oh, I get it now. And I've seen his other works. I've seen, The Shining, which I love. The Shining. Batman. Jack Nicholson's movies. I've seen a lot of them. But when I watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I'm like, okay, I see it. I see it now. I get why he's so popular, and I just love that story. I just think there's a big human element to it where, like Jack Nicholson, he's not a great guy, especially, for the reasons he's in the asylum or whatever it's called, which I don't know if you remember. He's not a good dude for what he did, but you do almost kind of like him, because he's charismatic in that role.
He's a person.
He's a person, yeah, and
who has mental illness.
Yeah, and it's interesting because his mental illness, which I don't even know what it would really be, because it's definitely not on par. It's like I don't really think he should be in the asylum or the mental psych ward, whatever. Because the other guys, I mean, definitely should be. And it's just interesting because he is so charismatic, and he definitely does not belong there. Like he is, more sane than the other patients. But the relationship that he builds with the group is just so heartwarming at times, with him, getting them out and and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know. I just love that film so much.
That's a good choice.
I want to get a poster of it. That and American Splendor. Right now, I have a Pulp Fiction poster, which I do like Pulp Fiction, but it's too cliche to have a Pulp Fiction poster.
It's a little. Pulp Fiction can be a little bit like, of course,
Yeah,
it's kind of what kept me from maybe not picking Goodfellas.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like, of course you're gonna, But
yeah, I get what you mean. And then I also have another poster of a movie I've never seen, but I just like the poster, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. I don't think it's a good film.
I actually remember that.
You remember that? Yeah, I love that poster, so I do want to keep that one, but I would like to get rid of the Pulp Fiction one and replace that with either American Splendor or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because those are in my top, probably my top two.
Fun fact, Michael Douglas actually won his first Oscar for producing that movie. Michael Douglas is a producer on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Michael Douglas. Am I thinking of the right? No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that. That's interesting.
No, that's a great film. It's that director is Milos Forman, and he's a great director. But yeah, he died a while ago. But
Wow.
yeah.
Way to make it sad.
Yeah, sorry. But no, it's a great film.
Yeah, he died.
I should think about that more. It's got a young Danny DeVito. It's got a young
Yeah, oh my god, that's right.
It's got a
Christopher
young
Lloyd.
Yes, Christopher Lloyd. A young Brad Dourif, who is actually Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. Remember the guy who works for Saruman?
Let me look it up because I
just
drew on a
Brad
blank.
Dourif, and his name will pop up.
Okay, he played the
Plays like Billy or something.
Did he play the guy that was like the evil king that turned out to be like possessed or whatever?
No, he's in Lord of the Rings. He's the guy who's like you remember in the second one when they get to Rohan and the king is like, you know.
Yeah. Okay. This is who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who's like orchestrating that whole.
Yeah. Thing. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. Great actor.
Cool. Cool. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I got for my top 5.
Cool. I saw that Bob Dylan movie a couple days ago.
I haven't seen that.
Great
yeah.
film.
Have you seen Nosferatu?
I have.
I haven't seen that either.
It's great. It's not very scary, and I'm someone who would be scared by it.
Yeah.
But it's beautifully done. It's a great film. But I don't really get scared by Robert Eggers movies.
I feel like they're more just unsettling, you know?
Yeah, like I've never been scared by them. Not the way that I'm scared of like an Ari Aster movie, you know?
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. Cool. Why don't we see what's coming out next week to see if there's any film that we want to talk about?
I know Wolfman is coming out. I was curious about that.
I think that's this week.
Oh, okay.
We could go see it if you want and talk about it next Thursday, though.
Wolfman. Well, what else?
Yeah. January 17th.
Is there anything else?
Let's see. 4. No.
So do you only want to do movies that are like currently on their first weekend?
No, we don't have to.
Okay.
But I figured, if there is a movie that we both want to see that's coming out, we should, try to see it Thursday and then talk about it Thursday night. But
Wolfman, I know I have a friend of mine who I think wants to see that, and I don't know what day he wants to go. If you do have the chance to see like Nosferatu or the Bob Dylan movie, we could talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. If it just sucks because around where I am, I have friends, but they don't want to go see a movie,
Yeah.
So it's like I have to go by myself, which I don't mind, especially if it's like during the day. It's kind of nice,
I don't mind not being interrupted during a movie. I don't mind that, like I don't know why people think that they're obliged to talk to me.
I agree. So I wouldn't mind seeing Wolfman or Nosferatu or the Bob Dylan one. I guess if I had to pick, I would probably want to see. I think the Wolfman seems more interesting to me.
Okay. Well, Wolfman, yeah, I'd like to see that. I like that.
But we can.
Lee Wayne. He's the guy who did The Invisible Man.
Yeah, which was great. So I would like to see it, but we can, take a few days and think about what we don't have to like watch a current movie that's coming out. We can like pick, whatever film that we want to watch, But I think if there is a film that's coming out, I think we should try to go and see it and talk about it.
I can't really think of anything coming up till March is the next month. I can think of some. Oh, I guess February there is a couple things coming, but
usually in January, February are dry.
Like the next couple weeks might be kind of
blah. Yeah,
just sort of maybe talking about. We could talk about movies that came out like a month ago too.
Yeah. So why don't we? We'll think about it. and we'll go from there. But why don't we wrap it up? And yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. If anyone is watching,
thank you guys. I mean,
if you're watching on the replay, awesome. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
And we will be doing this every Thursday at 7 p.m. Till now, until the end of time, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I'm committed to the end of time.
That's subject to change if we want. We're gonna try out Thursday at 7 p.m., but we may try it out and say, well, let's switch it around. It's not a great time for either of us. So yeah, we will be back next Thursday, the 23rd.
I'm gonna have a dog by then. So
yeah, that's right. You're gonna have a dog. Yeah. You're gonna have to show the dog on the camera.
Yeah, I'll bring him around.
Awesome.
He's like,
I thought you didn't like animals.
No, I met this dog. My uncle and aunt have Westies, and I was just like, I gotta get one of these.
You found the right one.
I talked about it. What?
You found the right one.
I think so. Yeah.
Are you still scared of cats? Or you don't
like
cats?
I'm allergic to cats. That's what.
Okay.
I'm allergic to cats, and we still have them. So
that makes sense. That makes sense then. Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, we will be back next Thursday, the 23rd, with a new movie we're going to talk about. We're going to just talk about one film per episode and review it, talk about it. We'll maybe do like movie news at the beginning of each show and just kind of quickly catch up. And yeah. So, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We will see you in the next one.
Thank you guys.